Oh boy, Don't Listen is a Netflix original movie, a Spanish horror movie where two parents and their child are living at an old house where the father Daniel is doing everything he can to fix this up, turn trash into treasure. The mother Sarah is all on board with this. And the son Eric is naturally reserved and quiet, but also acts out because he doesn't have any structure. Moving from house to house to house, not having any friends, and only having your parents, even though your parents love you, that would be rather difficult for a child to take on. And while the parents have made a fortune doing this, they've also had to invest a fortune to fix up the houses. That's kind of how house flipping works. And with this house, unfortunately, there are some sinister forces that are coming after Eric and coming after the family, and Daniel must do what he can to save his family before it's too late. I'm going to get into spoilers here in a little bit, not yet, but I knew I was going to hate this movie right away, and here's why. When I read the description, I'm like, okay, Spanish horror movie, it is what it is. When I saw The Binding, I really liked The Binding, and I've liked some other Netflix movies that have come out this year, foreign and otherwise. There's been some really, really good horror movies. There's been some good dramas. Like, it's been nice being able to sit at home and watch these movies, so you kind of just look for everything. I'm trying to review as many movies as possible. I'm up above 125 right now because I literally have nothing to do with my life, and that is proof with watching this movie that was complete and utter dog shit. The music cues, the jump scares are fucking shit. The acting isn't all that bad. The acting is probably the best part of it, and there's some good atmosphere. The idea behind the movie is simple enough. Here's the problem. There aren't enough fleshed out characters. You don't really get a feel that any of these are characters. You get a feel they're caricatures. They're just props. They're just there. They're almost figurines that don't fucking move. I mean, again, not that the acting's bad, but there's nothing that's fleshed out about these characters. The father, the mother, the son, and then there are other characters that are introduced later on, and the dad pretty much just like, frickin' fractures. It almost tries to be a little bit like Sinister, except not nearly as good. And I didn't really care for Sinister, so you have to know how hard it is for me to say that. But in this, the father basically has to get help to figure out what is going on in the house. And it's pretty ridiculous. He has to get this author to help him. This author that has studied EVPs, electronic voice phenomenon, that is. Phenomenon. And that his daughter Ruth, the author's daughter, that is, the author German. I kept wanting to call him German, and then I remembered this was a Spanish horror movie. And they're there to study and help, Daniel get some closure, figure this shit out. Because, this stuff really shouldn't be happening. No family should be haunted. But yeah, nobody studied up on this and figured out that this house had a really, really dark past. And you really don't want to mess with it. You should have never entered the doors. Honestly, with this movie, though, everything from the jump scares to the makeup effects actually aren't that bad. I will say that much. But so much of this movie is so cliched, so bad, so boring, and nothing is scary about it. Like, the music just hits you over the head, and the other music choices besides the jump scare choices are just fucking shit. It's so generic, it's like they just, pick music off of the freaking internet. It's the most generic thing possible, and they're like, okay, we'll just play that. That's Scary Music 101, Scary Music 102. Just, cool, cut, perfect. We'll just do that. And everybody makes dumb decisions basically just to advance everything, which, yes, is horror movie 101. Honestly, that really is. That's like almost horror. That's almost, horror movie rule number one. But it's the decisions they make where, okay, if this house has such sinister forces, just leave. Oh wait, no, they can't. They invested all their money in it. They can't do that. Like idiots. That's, your cliche right there. We're stuck. We can't do anything. So we have to deal with all this, haunted spoopiness. Yeah, the conclusion is absolute ass as well. It's just there's stuff that tries to tie back to something that the kid did in the beginning, which I guess sort of would be fine if there was any character arc to this. There isn't. None of the characters really have any flesh to them. They have no meat to them. The story has no goddamn meat. It's basically the bare bones of a basic story, and it ends up being just, not scary, not frightening, not haunting or anything. You're just wondering, like, okay, it's just set pieces and just ghosts. It's like they watched a bunch of horror movies, Human Centipede them together, and just threw this shit out there. And it's not even a good family drama. You don't really fucking care, because the explanation you can see coming from a mile a goddamn way, if that even makes sense. Anyway, I'm going to get into spoilers right now. Don't watch this. Fucking don't listen. Don't listen to the music. Don't listen to anything. Except this review. Anyway, spoilers. 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay, so the son is doing a whole bunch of drawings because these voices in the walls are telling him what to do. And there's also flies in the wall. Well, one particular wall. And these flies have weird magic powers. And after this doctor, this counselor talks to Eric, this fly gets in her ear and then possesses her and makes her drive into a tree branch and kill herself. It even puts it right through her goddamn cheek. Pretty cool visual. And then 20 minutes into the movie, Eric ends up dying. What the hell happened? I mean, how the hell did the kid die? And the dad's trying to figure out these answers. Well, what ends up happening is he gets this author to help him. This author that he just sees on TV, and he says, hey, I found a voice recording of my son. Please help me. The author who had lost his wife to this, and dedicated his life's work to it. Okay, I'll bring my daughter. And they do a bunch of recordings, and they figure out a bunch of stuff. And yes, there's some ghosts and stuff like that. The wife had gone away after the son had died, because the son died in a goddamn pool. And cool. The wife leaves for a bit. You think the wife's never going to come back. The wife does come back because she hears a recording also of her son and arrives. And this is right after some cats were found hung in a tree, because it's a warning. Because it turns out this house was used during the Inquisition, and women were killed and tried as witches. That's pretty much it right there. And then the wife ends up hanging herself. It's not even cool like, look at me, Damien, it's all for you. It's not like that. It's just, boom, she just hits. Again, it's just like they threw a bunch of cliches from movies right in here, and it has no structure. It has no structure to it. And what's even more hilarious is it turns out that they find this witch's body down there. I mean, after the wife has died. So Daniel, the author, Herman, and daughter Ruth go down to the basement. They figure out that the witch is down there, the witch's body, and they figure out, oh, it's because she used her voice for evil. We have to burn her body. Well, then she suddenly possesses Ruth through that fly, that weird fly, the magical fly. Help me! And, the daughter stabs her father. Doesn't stab him very good, though, because he uses enough gasoline to use a shotgun to burn the body, which apparently doesn't totally work, because even though they seem to be freed, the dad, who has this mortal wound, sleeps in the same damn house along with his daughter. I mean, his daughter keeps an eye on him. Next morning, they're fine. Okay, great, they're fine. They're going to leave the house, obviously. The dad finds a whole bunch of drawings that his son did, and it turns out, oh, wait, that's all these drawings that have come true, this tree branch, and the mother hanging herself and getting cut on her foot, and then, the cat's dying and all that. The son foretold it because the son was being told to draw this stuff, because the witch was like, hey, kid, draw this stuff so, we can get, the plot wrapped up, no doubt. And the dad saw the last picture, goes to the pool, because it turns out, oh, wait, no, who killed the kid? It was the dad that killed the kid. The fly got in the dad's ear, and he was possessed and killed the son and drowned the son. So he shot himself at the pool. That's it. That's it right there. And everybody was frightened, and it was shit. It was goddamn shit, and it's one of the worst things I've seen this year. Look, if you guys found this movie frightening, fine. I didn't. So that's all I got to say about that. Anyway, don't listen to it. Don't watch it. Just don't. Agree, disagree, what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.